Thanks to its advantageous location midway between India and China, Cambodia offers numerous investment opportunities in this nascent frontier market. The economy is heavily dollarized and nearly 80% of cash changing hands are greenbacks. This has led to minimal foreign exchange risks and a stable monetary and fiscal policy. A 100% foreign ownership, attractive investment incentives and the open capital account have further lured investors. The garment industry, accounting for 80% of the country's exports, tourism and agriculture offer vast investment opportunities. Leopard Capital, a pioneer private equity group investing in the pre-emerging post-conflict and post-disaster economies in Southeast Asia. It participated in the 2012 launch of the first IPO on the Cambodia Securities Exchange by investing in the Phnom Penh Water Supply Authority. Let's go in and find out what they think about the outlook for this nation's frontier market. An increasing number of multinationals are considering to move their production sites from China to Cambodia because there are lower production costs and workforce costs as well. What kind of interest are you seeing from foreign companies?
We're getting a lot of recent interest from Japan due to perhaps the demographics of Japan, the earthquake, and just Japan's issues with China, which leads it to invest in Southeast Asia as an alternative. So I think that's very favorable because Japanese industries have good technology and are very long-term. We're also getting interest from Thailand and as part of the ASEAN integration that's going on in 2015. So I think we'll see more ASEAN companies taking advantage of the low-cost labor and land here. I think many investors don't really know Cambodia that well because it hasn't been important for them to monitor it. So it's a new topic for most investors. They need to come and realize that it's different than they might expect. Usually people come and they say it's nicer or more progressive than they expected. So I think it's a discovery process, but the reality is that this is a very open and competitive economy, that the more people learn about it, the more excited they are about what you can do here as a foreign investor that it's difficult to do in other countries. I would encourage people to come to Cambodia and see it for yourself because this is a great success story of a post-conflict country that came back to life, and it's dynamic and the people are optimistic. I think it has a great future ahead of it. It just the rest of the world hasn't paid attention to the economic side of it, but there's a very good story here.
The International Monetary Fund is expecting the Cambodian economy to post a 6.7 GDP growth rate this year and then 7.2% in 2014. What is your outlook for the economy?
I think traditionally Cambodia's been an agricultural nation, and this is the core strength, the comparative advantage of the economy is that it has a lot of fertile farmland. It's not being used that productively, has inexpensive labor that's ready to work on a farm if you pay them well. So I think developing a modern agricultural sector integrated down to food processing, this is an area of strength, and I think we could start with that sector. Cambodia is in the middle of a transition from a least developed country to a middle-income country. So it's really many different sectors of the economy are growing, following similar trends across Southeast Asia. So we're seeing a lot of the beginning of a consumption culture here, where people are moving from being farmers to working in garment factories, from the rural areas into urban areas. So it's a broad-based growth trend, secular growth trend, and still has a long way to go. The biggest challenges really are that there isn't a lot of expertise in this economy. So most people don't know how to operate modern businesses. So when you start a business here or you invest in one, you have to train people or bring in experts from outside of Cambodia to get you through this transition.